A 12-year-old girl had to stand up at her mother's funeral yesterday and tell the story of how she saw her mother get shot and killed at point-blank range simply for the fact that she was a Jew daring to live in the land of Israel. The question is, when will the world wake up and say that enough Jewish blood has been shed? CNN, as usual, got the story all wrong about a Palestinian terrorist who was shot and killed in an IDF raid. Israel's security cabinet met to discuss taking the fight against terror to the next level, and New York City Mayor Eric Adams visits Israel. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. That was a video of a journalist who was shot at the Gaza border riots yesterday by the IDF. However, as the caption on Twitter read, surely if someone had been shot, there should be a bit of blood, right? Seems to be fishy stuff going on there. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. First off, guys, make sure to subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any of our content that we're putting out 5 days a week here on YouTube. Also, go give us a follow on our other social media platforms. We're on all the major ones: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It really helps us out if you would go give us a follow there. Also, you can join our breaking news WhatsApp group where we're sending out all of the content, all of our weekly shows, plus some other stuff. You don't want to miss out on that, so click the link in the description below. Guys, before we jump in with the rest of the show, I want to thank our super thanks fans who have been giving on the channel this week. Mark Schrock, also G Galze 6929. Thank you so much for your support here on the Israel Guys channel. I want you guys to check out this video right here. Watch this.
אני רוצה לתת לך חיבוק פעם אחרונה. אני מתגעגעת אלייך, ואני תמיד אתגעגע אלייך, ואת תמיד בתוך הלב שלי. אני יודעת שאת שומרת עליי, גם כשאני לא יכולה לראות אותך. תמיד שמרת עליי, ועכשיו אני בטוחה יותר. את היית הבן אדם הכי שמח שאני מכירה. הבוקר יצאנו לקניות לירושלים. להיפגש עם הבנות דודות, לארגן את הגן שלך. עלינו על הרכב של אריה, לפתע שמעתי 3 יריות, והם חזקים. ראיתי שהחלונות שבורים לגמרי, ואת נפצעת חזק, וכבר לא היית רע. צעקתי מה לעשות, למרות שכבר התקשרתי למד"א. ירו עלינו, בואו מהר. נלחצתי, הקול שלי רעד.
Is that not the most heartbreaking thing you've ever seen? A 12-year-old girl stands in front of a crowd at her mother's funeral and describes how she saw her mother get murdered in cold blood right before her eyes. When will the world wake up to what is happening? When will we say, okay, that's enough. Enough Jewish blood has been shed. Guys, I see posts online on social media and stuff all the time of people posting, oh yes, you know, one day a Jewish mother is shot. It's really sad, but the next day an innocent Palestinian youth is murdered by the Israeli army when they go in to do a raid. I'm sick of this. I'm sick and tired of seeing this. I don't understand personally how people could, in good conscience, post things like this, trying to compare both sides and make them equal when there's absolutely nothing equal about this. Guys, I want to put it straight for you. Jews are dying in Israel simply for the fact that they are Jews living in the land promised to them by God himself. Palestinians are dying simply for the fact that they are terrorists who try and murder Israelis. It's that simple. The only Palestinians who are being killed by the IDF, who are dying from Israel, are terrorists. It's also sickening to me how news agencies like CNN, Al Jazeera, they surely know better. They're still, even though they know better, they're still writing horrendous stories that are either completely false or entirely misleading. CNN wrote an article this week about the terrorist attack in Hawara the other day, where a father and son were shot point blank and murdered. Josiah covered that fully on his show. But this is how the CNN headline ran. It said, 2 Israeli civilians killed in Flashpoint West Bank town, Israeli military says. You know, the military said that 2 civilians were killed, so we don't really know if that's true or not. That's basically what CNN is hinting at. It's absolutely ridiculous. They didn't write anything about the young mother who was murdered in Hebron the other day, where her daughter was speaking at her funeral, but they did write an article about a Palestinian terrorist who was taken out by the IDF. This is the headline that they wrote about him. They said, quote, Palestinian man shot from behind by Israeli security forces, video appears to show. Oh no, the IDF killed another Palestinian. That is what they're saying. The IDF just killed a random Palestinian, shot him in the back of the head. What's the real story though? I'm going to put it for you really simple, really short. The IDF went in to arrest suspected terrorists. The terrorists resisted, opened fire on the IDF. In the gunfight, this Palestinian terrorist was killed. And how do we know that this man was a terrorist? Because the Palestinian Islamic Jihad claimed him as one of their fighters after his death. Absolutely insane what CNN is writing about these people. Guys, we'll be right back with the rest of the show. But first, we are very excited to announce that our new book, Rereading Matthew, Blessing Israel and Destroying Anti-Semitism, is available for purchase now. Rereading Matthew is a groundbreaking devotional for the thinking Christian and is the first book of its kind that takes a look at the Gospel of Matthew through the lens of first century Judaism in the land of Israel. All Bible teachers agree that context sheds critical light on what the writers of the Bible originally intended their readers to hear. But have you ever thought about how the book of Matthew would read if you put Jesus in his original Israeli Jewish context? Could it be that we have been so focused on our faith in Yeshua, Jesus, that we somehow became disconnected from the faith of Yeshua? I can assure you that God's word will come alive in a whole new way as you journey through the pages of Rereading Matthew and encounter a more authentic depiction of what Matthew, a very Jewish Israeli man, wrote in his account of the gospel. Rereading Matthew is a 30-day devotional and is designed to take you on a journey through the first gospel in the New Testament. Each day will have a passage for you to ponder, along with an interpretation that was written along with insight from an incredible team of Christian and Orthodox Jewish scholars. Rereading Matthew is perfect for your own 30-day devotional journey or for your next group Bible study. Click the link in the description below to purchase your copy of Rereading Matthew today. So, the Israeli Security Cabinet met just yesterday. They decided that they will take more action against terror, or at least that's what they talked about, and bring the fight actually to the terrorists. The Prime Minister's office said this in a statement. They said, quote, the Security Cabinet made a series of decisions to target terrorists and those who dispatch them and authorized the Prime and Defense Ministers to act on the matter. The forum supports the commanders and soldiers of the IDF and security services in their activities against the terrorist elements. This statement from the Prime Minister's office unfortunately didn't elaborate on specific measures that would be taken. This is from JNS article that I saw, the Jewish News Syndicate. They said this, quote, as the Security Cabinet was taking place at the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem, leaders of regional councils from Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley protested outside, demanding tougher action against rampant terrorism that has claimed the lives of 35 people since January. The situation is intolerable. We demand a change in the approach to security. The continued rise in murderous terror incidents shows the current approach has failed and should be changed quickly, the council leaders said in a joint statement. Netanyahu blamed Iran for the upswing in terrorism while visiting the site of the attack near Hebron on Monday. He said, quote, it must be understood that a considerable portion of this terrorist wave comes as a result of outside guidance. We are using means, and we will use yet more, both offensive and defensive, to settle accounts with the murderers and those who dispatch them near and far, the Prime Minister said. So hopefully all of this is more than just talk, that the government will actually put their words into action, step up the game against terrorism, and hopefully stop the terrorism event that has literally been running rampant here in Israel, specifically in Judea and Samaria this year. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Just the day after the terror attack happened in Hawara the other day, some of our guys were driving through Hawara, and the town of Hawara was completely open, just like normal. Even the shop, the car wash, where the two men were murdered, where they were shot, was completely 100% open, and there were no restrictions on the town at all. That is ridiculous that should be happening. So hopefully with this meeting that the Israeli Security Cabinet had, they will take more actions and they will put their words into actions to stop the terrorism that has been happening. Guys, in some other news, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is right now on a visit to Israel. He met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He said this on Twitter, quote, "New York City and Israel share an unbreakable bond. Our city is home to the largest Jewish population anywhere outside of Israel. We are diverse melting pots rooted in common bonds of faith and culture. Proud to sit with Prime Minister Netanyahu today to deepen those bonds." So he also visited many other places in Israel, including Yad Vashem, also the Western Wall, of course. But he also met with the Binyamin Regional Council, which is pretty cool. Binyamin Regional Council Governor Israel Gantz. He's basically the governor of the Benjamin Regional Council, because there's Samaria, Shamron, but also the Binyamin, which is a different region. So they have different councils and governors over the different regions. So Israel Gantz, he said, quote, "Benjamin and Israel have an important friend in the mayor of New York. We in Benjamin can learn and gain insights from the municipal activities in New York, and the residents of New York can benefit from touring Israel and connecting with the land of the Bible and its values. I thank Foreign Minister Eli Cohen, who is doing an excellent job connecting the state of Israel to the international community with great success." So that's great. Also, Mayor Eric Adams, he met with a few of the leaders of the judicial reform protest, which I thought was very interesting. Not sure why he would do that. Guys, I want to end the show today with a tweet that I found absolutely incredibly insane. I don't think I've ever quite seen anything like this. A lady posted these pictures. You can see them here. She said this, quote, "Israeli Jews in the OPTs, occupied Palestinian territories, celebrating the death of a disabled Palestinian shot dead by Israeli forces yesterday in Kalkilia." What? Like, read that again. Like, did she really just say that? I don't think, of all the propaganda I've seen, like, over the years, I've seen a lot of propaganda, trust me. I don't think I've ever seen anything so completely 100% turned around and backwards of what this lady is trying to say. Thankfully, under the post on Twitter, it does say readers added context that they thought people might want to know. They said, "These are photos of Palestinians celebrating the death of 2 Israelis killed in Hawara terrorist attack." Yes, exactly. That's literally what it was. These are literally photos of Palestinians handing out sweets in the streets of the Palestinian towns, celebrating the fact that 2 more Jews were murdered in Israel. While Jews celebrate life, unfortunately, many Palestinian Arabs a lot of times love celebrating death. The Jews, Israelis, would never, ever be celebrating the death of a Palestinian. They might celebrate the death of a terrorist because no more Jews will be murdered by that terrorist. But no, they're not going to celebrate the death of a disabled Palestinian. That is absolutely ridiculous, this claim that this lady is making. I thought it was probably the craziest piece of propaganda that I've ever seen. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Put down your thoughts about about everything that is happening here in Israel. Love to interact with you there. Also, remember to check out our new devotional book on the Gospel of Matthew. The link will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, keep the conversation going. As always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening in the land of Israel. We'll be back every day, Monday through Friday, with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.